Look at these tomato plants. I'm 6 foot tall and this one's towering over me. I'm gonna show you 5 things I did this season to get these big, beautiful, healthy tomato plants. Stay tuned and I'll walk you through it. At the end, I'll tell you about a cheat sheet I'm gonna post. These tomato plants are just awesome. You can see the foliage is healthy, there's no leaf curl, plenty of bloom still, and lots of green fruit. It's mid-July right now, so there's not much red fruit, but I'm gonna have an explosion of fruit. My smallest one is this little San Marzano. It was kind of the runt of the litter when I planted up my garden. I planted my garden in mid-May. It is now mid-July, and this is what we have so far. Look how much fruit these San Marzanos have on them. I would say it's going to be a good crop. Lots of fruit, and they're still flowering. They're indeterminate. These are my beefsteaks. They're huge. Huge beefsteaks. Look at this. More beefsteaks here. I like beefsteak tomatoes. I like BLT sandwiches. I also like making salsa with the beefsteaks and mixing them with San Marzano. They also make great sauce. So here are some of the things I've done to get these amazing plants. Step 1 is starting the tomato plants from seed. I got the seeds from a reputable source and the varieties I wanted. It's a lot cheaper when you start your tomatoes from seed anyway. I started my tomatoes from seed indoors mid-March in these seed trays. You can see they have individual cells here, and you put little peat pods in, you get them wet, and you put each seed in, and then this is the lid for the tray. Put the lid on, keep the moisture in it, and let the seeds germinate. After they germinate, I have a grow lamp indoors. This is all indoors, not even out in my greenhouse because it's too cold, even in the greenhouse in mid-March. And under the grow light, I let the seedlings get to about 4 or 5 inches tall, and then I move them out into my greenhouse to kind of harden off. I only move them into my greenhouse when the overnight low is about 50 degrees or warmer. There were a few days in late April when I moved them out that touched into about 46, 47 degrees, but it was just for a few hours and it didn't damage them. But yes, start seeds indoors, use a grow light, and then transfer out into a greenhouse or somewhere where the temperatures do not get below 50 degrees at night. The second step is having a really good soil. Now this soil was bought from a local stone and rock yard in my neighborhood. This is their 3-way soil mix. It has compost, sand, and loam. As you can see, this is a very rich looking soil. I went to the local sand and gravel yard and ordered their 3-way soil mix. I have a pickup truck, so I just got a 1 yard scooped into my truck. They can also deliver. And then I use this to build up my mounds in my garden. I've had this garden for 19 years now, and I've tried so many different fertilization methods. I've tried synthetic, organic, compost, everything you can think of. And there is one method that I have found that makes this garden the best it can possibly be. This one method makes everything about twice the size of any other method. And that is called the COF, which is the Complete Organic Fertilizer. It was invented by a guy named Steve Solomon in 2005. So Steve wanted a more precise, mineral-balanced approach to organic gardening, especially for nutrient-depleted soils here in the Pacific Northwest. Solomon believed that most compost-based organic approaches did not address mineral deficiencies, leading to weak crops or nutrient-poor food. COF was designed to rebuild soil fertility deliberately. He tailored it to the soil's needs. He used natural amendments like feather and blood meal, rock phosphate, kelp meal, lime, dolomite, gypsum, many others. I'm going to include the entire ingredient list in the description below, where I'm going to have a PDF cheat sheet of all of these tips and what to do. Now, I didn't have all of the ingredients on hand and I was kind of in a hurry. I could source all these ingredients locally. There's a place called Portland Concentrates that I could drive to, but it's a far drive, and also I would have to buy them in a much larger quantity than I need to mix the soil amendment. So I actually had some organic fertilizer mix from a local nursery, and that had most of the components into it. And then all I needed to do was add a few extra additional components to get my COF. So here's what I did instead. I already had this Al's Garden Center slow release organic fertilizer, and it has most of the COF ingredients in it already. And you can see, I'll just show you what it kind of looks like here. And it's pelletized. It smells like it's got fish meal and blood meal and all sorts of stuff in it. And then I added the amendments to make it really closely match the COF. I added some kelp meal. I added the dolomite lime. I had bone meal here. I got all of these off Amazon actually. And then some gypsum. Now, I also, in each hole of the tomato plant and all my vegetables, I added some earthworm castings. Now, these earthworm castings are kind of like a probiotic boost for your plants. Really healthy, gets all the microbes in there necessary. After I mended the soil and planted, then there was one more addition of nutrients that I did. And then this is it for the entire year. I don't add anything else. But what I did is I added little urea pearls. You can get these on Amazon, they're pretty cheap. I added about 20 to 25 per plant side dressing, watered them in, and that provided a huge nitrogen boost. Now I did this about 2 weeks after everything was transplanted and there was no more transplant shock. And that provided a huge nitrogen boost to get the plants to grow really big and tall and really leafy. But just do this one time. That's all you need. The rest of the season, the COF will take care of your entire crop. I won't have to add any more supplements. Prune the bottoms of your tomato plants. You don't want any leaves touching the ground, and it keeps the airflow up, and it also looks nice and clean and neat. So pruning the bottoms of your tomato plants. You can see all of the bottoms are pruned on these plants. Water deeply, but only every other day. Tomatoes like deep watering, but they don't like swampy roots. The roots do not like to be constantly soaked in water. So I like to water really deeply and then wait a day. If it's super hot, I might water every day. A good way to tell when you need to water is if about 2 inches down the soil is still dry, then you'll want to water. So water deeply, but sparingly. So there you have it. That's how I grow these big, beautiful tomato plants with those 5 easy steps. Follow those and I guarantee you're gonna have amazing results. Feel free to like, subscribe, help the channel out, and I thank you for watching.